like I had to put myself in this zone where I was like standing like a guy and I was like imagining that I had a penis and I was like in a hot tub surrounded by like bitches and
There are funny celebrities, and then there's Anna Kendrick, a woman so naturally chaotic that even her most normal interviews somehow turn into complete disasters in the best possible way. This is someone who casually roasted former President Barack Obama to his face, admitted she secretly eats Taco Bell alone in her car after midnight like she's hiding evidence, and once became so intimidated by Beyoncé that she physically avoided eye contact just to absorb the aura. But the craziest part is that none of it feels scripted. In an industry full of celebrities terrified of saying the wrong thing, Anna Kendrick somehow became one of the biggest stars in Hollywood by saying absolutely whatever enters her brain first. And trust me, the deeper this video goes, the more unhinged these stories become. There are celebrities who spend years carefully building a polished public image, making sure every interview feels rehearsed, safe, and perfectly media-trained. Then there's entity people, Anna Kendrick, American actress and singer, someone who somehow became one of Hollywood's biggest stars while sounding like she accidentally wandered onto every talk show completely unprepared. That's exactly what makes her so entertaining. Over the years, Anna Kendrick has built a reputation for being one of the funniest, most self-aware, and most brutally honest celebrities in Hollywood. While many stars carefully calculate every answer they give in interviews, Anna treats conversations like chaotic stand-up routines where absolutely anything can happen. One second she's discussing serious acting work, and the next she's describing bizarre thoughts, awkward insecurities, or stories so unhinged that audiences can barely process what they just heard. And the wildest part, none of it feels fake. This is someone who has earned an Academy Award nomination, starred in billion-dollar franchises, worked alongside some of the biggest names in entertainment, and still somehow talks like the funniest exhausted friend in your group chat. Anna Kendrick's rise to fame wasn't overnight. Before becoming one of Hollywood's most recognizable actresses, she began performing as a child in theater productions. By the age of 12, she had already earned a Tony Award nomination for her role in the Broadway musical High Society, making her one of the youngest performers ever nominated at the time. Most child actors who achieve success that early often become extremely polished in public. Anna somehow went in the opposite direction. As her career exploded through films like Pitch Perfect, Up in the Air, Into the Woods, and Twilight, audiences slowly realized something important. Anna Kendrick wasn't just talented, she was unintentionally one of the funniest people alive. And no moment captures her energy better than when she casually described preparing for a role by mentally putting herself into what she called guy mode. Instead of explaining it professionally like most actors would, she immediately spiraled into a chaotic explanation involving standing like a man, imagining herself with male anatomy, and mentally placing herself in a hot tub surrounded by distractions. The audience completely lost it. That's the magic of Anna Kendrick. Most actors try to sound intellectual when discussing their process. Anna somehow turns every serious topic into controlled chaos. Even her introductions immediately derail into absurd comedy. During one appearance, she joked that she and the interviewer had become unusually close because she forgot her own bra and was currently wearing someone else's instead. It was such an unnecessary and outrageous detail that the audience instantly exploded with laughter. That's what separates her from most celebrities. She doesn't present herself as glamorous or untouchable. She presents herself as a disaster. And somehow, people love her more because of it. Throughout Hollywood, celebrities are usually terrified of saying the wrong thing publicly. One awkward quote can become a headline for weeks, but Anna Kendrick seems completely comfortable embarrassing herself if it means being funny. At one point, she casually revealed that her hotel had caught fire. Then, almost immediately, she clarified that it wasn't actually her room, although, according to her, she's chaotic enough that people probably assumed it was. That level of self-deprecating humor has become her trademark. In an industry filled with carefully managed personalities, Anna's complete willingness to sound ridiculous feels refreshing. And then there's her storytelling. Anna has a unique ability to turn the smallest interaction into a cinematic disaster story. She once talked about hearing someone with a strong British accent while traveling and genuinely assuming the person was joking because the accent sounded too exaggerated to be real. Instead of reacting normally, she leaned fully into the misunderstanding and sarcastically responded like they were bought. Participating in some weird comedy sketch. Moments like that happen constantly around her. Even online, her humor became legendary. At the height of social media culture, when celebrities were carefully curating flawless Instagram photos and pretending their lives were perfect, Anna Kendrick went in the opposite direction. One of her most famous tweets involved her asking whether Instagram had a filter capable of fixing resting face. The tweet immediately exploded online because millions of people related to it. Anna admitted that whenever she accidentally appeared in the background of someone else's photo, she looked furious, judgmental, or emotionally exhausted, despite feeling completely normal in real life. Instead of pretending to be effortlessly glamorous, she openly joked about looking like someone silently judging every person in the room. That honesty made her incredibly relatable. And despite becoming one of Hollywood's most recognizable actresses, Anna never lost the ability to make fun of herself. Even when former president entity politician, Barack Obama, President of the United States, publicly praised her, she somehow turned the moment into comedy. After complimenting her during an event, Obama later approached her and politely asked if he had embarrassed her earlier. Most celebrities would have responded respectfully and moved on. Anna immediately joked back at him, sarcastically calling him out and asking whether he realized he appeared on lists ranking the most attractive and admired people in the world. Then, without hesitation, she casually added that at least she didn't have to sleep with him to get on those lists. The audience completely lost control. Only Anna Kendrick could turn a conversation with a former president into a bizarre roast session. But one of the funniest things about her personality is how openly she mocks modern trends. During one interview, Anna described being surrounded by intensely masculine actors having serious discussions about astrology, moon signs, and horoscope compatibility. At first, she genuinely thought they were joking. These were intimidating, hyper-confident men discussing star charts with the emotional intensity of people planning military operations. When Anna asked whether they actually believed any of it, they immediately corrected her and began explaining moon signs, rising signs, and astrological compatibility in extreme detail. She described the experience as watching a group of action heroes transform into teenage girls reading horoscope magazines. The image alone was enough to make the audience collapse laughing. And then came one of her most legendary conversations, naked selfies. Anna explained that she has absolutely no problem with people taking revealing photos. Her issue is with the horrifying state of the rooms visible in the background. To her, it makes absolutely no sense. If someone is taking the time to pose dramatically, adjust lighting, and carefully take photos of themselves, why wouldn't they spend 10 seconds cleaning their room first? When someone argued that men wouldn't even notice the mess because they'd be too distracted by the photo itself, Anna pushed the discussion even further. She insisted that if she were a man, she would specifically seek out organized people because attractive photos become significantly better in clean environments. The conversation somehow escalated into Anna critiquing wallpaper patterns, room decoration, and interior design choices while discussing explicit selfies. That chaotic combination of intelligence and absurdity is what makes her humor so unique. Her opinions on weddings are equally savage. Anna openly admitted that she tries to avoid being invited to weddings because she sees them as giant theatrical productions where everyone is forced to wear uncomfortable clothing and fake enthusiasm for several hours. She joked that she may have subconsciously avoided forming extremely close female friendships simply because she never wanted to become a bridesmaid. According to Anna, being trapped in a wedding group email discussing matching dresses and ballet pink nail polish sounds less like friendship and more like emotional warfare. The funniest part is that millions of people secretly agree with her. One of the biggest reasons Anna Kendrick became so beloved online is because she talks about ordinary problems with complete honesty. For example, she once described trying to become healthier. Like many people, she hoped exercise and healthy eating would turn out to be overrated. Instead, she discovered the deeply annoying truth: working out actually makes you feel better. She admitted that this realization genuinely upset her because she desperately wanted an excuse to continue eating fast food constantly without consequences. But instead of feeling exactly the same after improving her lifestyle, she suddenly had more energy and felt healthier. According to Anna, that was the worst possible outcome. Even her explanation of exercise sounded exhausted. Pilates, yoga, fusion workouts, to her, modern fitness trends all sounded like the same confusing nightmare. Meanwhile, she described her primary form of exercise as walking vigorously. That combination of laziness, honesty, and sarcasm makes her incredibly relatable. Despite becoming a globally recognized actress, Anna constantly describes herself as someone who would rather stay home doing absolutely nothing. She once joked that film studios would send her to New York for promotional tour and place her in luxury hotel rooms worth thousands of dollars. At one point, she genuinely asked whether they could simply downgrade her to a cheaper hotel and let her keep the leftover money instead. The executives were horrified. To Anna, however, the idea seemed perfectly reasonable. Moments like that reveal how disconnected she feels from traditional celebrity culture. Even her interactions with other celebrities feel completely different from normal Hollywood stories. One of the best examples involves entity musical artist Beyoncé, American singer-songwriter. Anna once described seeing Beyoncé backstage during an event and becoming so intimidated that she intentionally avoided looking directly at her. Instead, she and her friend made a deliberate detour simply to walk past Beyoncé and absorb what Anna jokingly called the aura. Later, her friend informed her that Beyoncé had actually been trying to get her attention the entire time. Completely panicked, Anna forced herself to walk back and introduce herself. Expecting a quick greeting, she instead found herself having an actual conversation with Beyoncé and entity musical artist, Jay-Z, American rapper and businessman. Beyoncé complimented her performance, remembered the exact red dress she wore earlier, and treated her with incredible kindness. Anna became so overwhelmed by the interaction that she later questioned whether she hallucinated the entire experience. That's another major reason audiences connect with her. Even though she's famous, she still reacts to celebrities the same way ordinary people do. She becomes nervous, awkward, and emotionally overwhelmed. And then she jokes about it afterward. One of the strangest but funniest things Anna has admitted involves baking. According to her, whenever she bakes, she intentionally fills every corner of her brain with commentary and random thoughts. Why? Because if her mind becomes too quiet, she immediately starts worrying that people secretly dislike her. So instead, she distracts herself with thoughts about butter, sugar, recipes, measurements, and cooking instructions simply to prevent herself from spiraling emotionally. It's funny, but it's also weirdly honest. That balance between comedy and vulnerability is a huge part of her appeal. Even fame itself embarrasses her. When giant advertisements featuring her face appeared across Los Angeles, Anna admitted she became deeply uncomfortable driving near them. Instead of feeling proud, she slouched down in her car because she worried people would think she was intentionally hanging around her own billboards admiring herself. She joked that she drove around hiding her face like a criminal trying to avoid recognition. That level of self-consciousness feels almost impossible to fake. And then there's her legendary obsession with entity brand, Taco Bell, American fast food chain. Anna doesn't describe eating Taco Bell like a normal fast food experience. She describes it like participating in an illegal underground activity. According to her, Taco Bell can only be eaten after midnight, under complete darkness, and preferably in isolation. She refuses to walk inside the restaurant. Instead, she specifically searches for locations with drive-thrus so she can secretly eat alone in her car afterward. The way she talks about it sounds less like ordering food and more like hiding evidence after a crime. And honestly, that dramatic level of commitment somehow makes the story even funnier. Her stories become even more chaotic when substances get involved. After describing her first mushroom experience with a friend, where the two of them accidentally got far more intoxicated than expected from what was supposed to be a harmless microdose, Anna immediately panicked when asked whether any part of the story was technically legal. Her nervous disclaimer that the story was, for entertainment purposes only, only made the audience laugh harder. Even her political jokes somehow feel emotionally exhausted. At one point, after struggling to open a bottle by herself, Anna admitted she briefly thought, maybe I really do need a man. Then she immediately started laughing at herself before spiraling emotionally. That combination of sarcasm, frustration, self-awareness, and existential exhaustion perfectly summarizes her comedic energy. She also openly talks about the darker and more uncomfortable parts of Hollywood. Anna once recalled a moment where a director publicly embarrassed her in front of hundreds of extras after encouraging her to improvise during a scene. After she tried something creative, the director loudly criticized her and demanded they return to the script. According to Anna, the entire interaction felt like a deliberate attempt to establish dominance. It was humiliating. But in the end, the exact improvised moment the director mocked eventually ended up in the trailer for the project. That detail completely changed the story from uncomfortable to satisfying. And then there are the moments where Anna says something so unbelievably unfiltered that audiences stop functioning entirely. Whether she's casually mentioning that entity musical artist, Katy Perry, American singer-songwriter, once fingerbanged her cleavage during a chaotic party, openly admitting she's never worn handcuffs unless someone means being arrested, or randomly becoming distracted by her own cleavage during an interview, Anna somehow turns social recklessness into comedy gold. Most celebrities spend years trying to appear flawless. Anna Kendrick became famous partly because she sounds gloriously flawed. She's awkward, sarcastic, anxious, self-conscious, chaotic, brutally honest, and completely unpredictable. Every interview feels less like a polished celebrity appearance and more like listening to your funniest friend spiral publicly in real time. And in an entertainment industry built around perfection, that level of honesty feels incredibly rare. That's why audiences continue to love her. Because beneath the fame, the awards, the red carpets, and the Hollywood success, Anna Kendrick still somehow feels like a completely normal person trying, and often failing, to hold her life together while making jokes about it along the way. By the way, if you're enjoying these completely chaotic celebrity moments, make sure you subscribe right now because honestly, Hollywood interviews have never been this unintentionally hilarious. We break down the funniest, weirdest, and most unfiltered celebrity moments that most people completely miss, and trust me, Anna Kendrick somehow gets even more savage as this video goes on. So hit the like button, subscribe, and stay till the end because some of her most outrageous moments are still coming up.